Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Philly Halftime. I just wanted to talk about the Eagles and what they should be doing. I had a lot of things to go on. I'm thinking of Jonathan Gannon he went to Arizona, and the Eagles didn't want him back. They just didn't want him back at all, and because they said take the job because they were going to let him go. The way he handled himself in the Super Bowl, it's one of my things. I We have so many guys that are going to be released. I believe Brandon Graham's going to be gone. I believe Fletcher Cox is going to be gone. I think Kelsey's going to be gone. Uh, you know, if any Bradbury's probably going to be gone. I mean, there could be a whole situation. Slay Slay might get traded, and I know and people are going to say no, that's not happening, but it might be. You know, um, big one would be Lane Johnson. Nobody's saying it because they don't want to hear it, but Lane Johnson might just call it a career. I mean, if Lane Johnson called it a career, everybody be in shock. And of all of Lane's injuries, and uh, you never know what could happen. So that's how I look at it. I mean, these are people that might not come back. It's just this is facts. I mean, do I think Lane Johnson's going? No. But you have to look at it. He might go. He might call it a year. And that's how it goes. Brandon Graham, I think unless Brandon Graham takes a salary, the lowest of the low, I think Brandon Graham's gone. If Fletcher Cox don't take the basement salary, I think he's gone. I know we have Slay for one more year, or I think it's one more year. I think we trade him. Now, if you trade him, do you keep Bradbury, and do you keep C.J. Garner? You got to keep C.J. Garner no matter what. You must have C.J. Garner here. But we had to find out what's going on. But just look at it. Like now, you don't know who your defensive coordinator is. I want Lovey Smith. He's my top guy. I know everybody's saying, and I know I'm going to get hit for it because everybody's saying, "Oh, he's too old." I don't care how old he is. The way he coaches a defense is what I care about. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to coach a good defense. He's not going to sit here and let your corners play 15 yards off. Well, he's not going to blitz 900 times. Well, you don't need to blitz all the time. I need him to keep everybody in check. I need him not to give up that big play. And, you know, the Super Bowl, that's all they gave up with big plays. How come Slay and Maddox was not on the same page? They weren't even talking and communicating each other. Slay and Maddox let a touchdown up. Nobody covered them on the right side. Went down back when they got the ball again. They went back down the field on the left side. They did the same exact play, and Slay and Maddox was nowhere to be found. Nobody in sight, and that's just that. That don't cut it with me. You have to put your guys in the right position. Jonathan Gannon didn't. Lovie Smith will. And if you want to go back to the Super Bowl next year, you have to have Lovie Smith as your defensive coordinator. He will give it will be he will definitely make you have that defense that you are in the Super Bowl next year. If you don't have Lovie Smith, well, you have questions to be answered. That's how it's going to go. You're going to have questions to be answered. And that's just it. I mean, we have a lot to get over, and I don't know. I mean, we're going to miss a lot of people. Yeah. You know, who's going to be linebacker? What are we going to do at linebacker? Well, we got a lot of guys that are going to be done. Kelsey, we have the answer for if he retires. When he retires, I believe that he's going to retire this year. But what happens if Lane Johnson retires? With your first pick, you might have to go up and get a right a right tackle. You don't know what he's going to do. What is your thoughts on the Eagles' request? They're now that's a good one, but they must. This is what they have to do in the NFL. They have to go to a bunch of guys, and it has to be in house, and it has to be again at the house, and they have to go for and pick out a good defensive coordinator. This is what it is. That's what they do. So when they are saying they're going to interview him, they're interviewing the guy from the Cardinals. They're interviewing all these guys because they have to. They You don't see they're interviewing Lovie Smith because that's the guy they want. Nobody said they interviewed Lovie Smith. The reason why they didn't say they're interviewing Lovie Smith right now is because that's the guy they want. I mean, you can sit there, but that's what all teams have to do. They have to interview so many people out of house and in house too, um, because that's the NFL's rules, and that's how that rolls. Is he a good defensive coordinator? He's an okay defensive coordinator. He's not the great. He's not the best. I mean, but the guys that are going you'll be shopping for is the reason why they are not what that team is because they didn't do that good for their team. Now, Lovie Smith was a head coach. He did good. He was a good defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears. He did it. He was a good defensive coordinator for Tampa Bay. He left Tampa Bay to come and be a head coach. But I mean, a lot of people are going to say he's old, and he's not old. It's yes, he's old, but a lot of coaches are old. Yeah, you just want some young guy to sit there and say, "I'm gonna reinvent the wheel," and then you come up with a Jonathan Gannon, and then he's gonna. That's what you're gonna. That's what you're saying. If you're saying because Lovie Smith is old, it means you're saying, well, he's just old. And then you want somebody like Jonathan Gannon that's going to try to reinvent the wheel and have his cornerbacks play 15 yards off the ball. It don't work that way. It just don't. You're going to have a defensive coordinator that don't tackle in practice, so you can't tackle in the game. This is what happens. You got to tackle in practice to work on your craft. Your linebackers get to work on their craft of tackling because everybody is different and it's harder to tackle people. Your left tackle, your tight ends. If you start tackling Goddard in practice, they learn how to wrap people up better. That's why you're failing at tackling because you're not practicing it. It just makes so much sense. But nope, everybody says you don't. We're not tackling. We're not going to wear pads. Not every team does that. But guess what? In the Super Bowl, what'd you fail to do? You failed to tackle. You failed to tackle the running back. You failed to tackle the special teams guy when he got all the way to the 5-yard line. You couldn't get to him because you don't practice. And that's my beef all year long. I mean, and that's what you have to do. And that's just it. I mean, and everybody's saying Brandon Graham's staying. They're saying all these guys are staying. And I do not see it. There's other people that are on the Eagles right now. They're going to retire, and the other ones are going to go for the bag full of money. And we can't afford everybody. What's going to happen with Miles Sanders? I think Miles Sanders is going to leave. That's my honest opinion on him. Because he wants the bag full of money. You got to give Jalen Hurts from $45 to $48 million a year. That's one goal you gotta do. So you got to take care of him. You got to take care of C.J. Gardner. All right? Running backs, you can go get a dime a dozen out of the draft. If Lane Johnson retires, people are going to be friggin' having a heart attack over it because they're going to be like, oh my God, he retired. Why would he do that? Because he's tired of being hurt. He's been dealing with a lot of surgeries. And last year he had a mental breakdown. None for nothing. This is what happened with the man. Now look at Brandon Graham. He had a torn Achilles tendon, came back, dominated, had his best year, but he's old. I think he's 35, 36 years old. He's going to want to retire. And if he don't retire, we had to get him for the basement price. If we don't get him for the basement price, then we can't do it. He's going to want to get paid. You can't insult the man. Fletcher Cox, I think he retires. I think he knows he's done. And if we keep him, he has to be the basement price. You know? It's just the facts of it all. And that's how it goes. It's just facts. And I'm just curious how everybody else thought. I want Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith is the top-notch guy. You know, they got the Cardinals defensive coordinator, and everybody's hyped on him. He's just another Jonathan Gannon, but he blitzes a lot. And everybody wants younger. You want younger, but you don't. You can't tell me why you don't want Lovie Smith, but simply you just old. You just want to say you want younger. Jonathan Gannon messed up in the Super Bowl. That's why he don't have a job with the Eagles. That's just it. You know, that's how it goes. Wow. You know, you got to worry about how come Slay. What happened to Slay? In the beginning of the year, Slay was friggin' dominating. And then he just dropped off fast. Worried about that. Maddox, after he got hurt, he dropped off. He's not being on the same page and all this. And it's kind of weird that stuff's going on like that. You know? I mean, just look at it. we're gonna be hurting that linebacker. We're gonna be, and everybody's saying they want, you know, they just don't want. They don't know what they want. People don't know right now, and I'm getting a lot of heat. I'm getting a little bit of heat for it. They don't even know what kind of coordinator they want. They just know they don't want Lovie Smith because he's old, and that's just the old way still works. You can't just try to reinvent the wheel and think you're going to reinvent the wheel. So, guys, I want to give a shout out to Let's Go Sports and Hardcore Sports. You guys go stop and check them guys out. Let me know what you guys think. But we got to, our roster is going to be hands down dropping fast. Ezio White, where's he go? You know, like where does Kaiser White go? I think Kaiser White. I don't think we can keep Kaiser White. I would like to. Let me try to pick up the. I gotta pick up. Try to get the. What you call it? How do I get the 53-man roster of the Eagles? But I mean, we need a punter. We definitely need a punter because that our punter sucks. You need special teams help. You ain't got the same. You kept the same special. You're keeping the same special team coach, and um, his way's not working. We got. Can we get a punt returner or a kick and or for and with the kick return because we get nowhere, and that just drives me crazy. That just drives me crazy that we can't get 5 yards. And you know, it is what it is. But we have a lot of guys to work on, man, and it's just and you must keep CJ Garner. You must keep Jalen Hurts. Yes, Randy. We got it. We do have to we got to get somebody because the punter. I mean, God, he is horrible. I mean, yes, on the field in the Super Bowl, everybody knew we were slipping and sliding. We all knew it. I mean, come on. I mean, but our punter is horrible. The returning, everybody watched him. You get 5 yards, or you get no. He lose yards. What's going on? What's up, Charles? Ads. Charles, I think the Sixers are dominating, and yes, the Eagles are going to come back from this. It's just the Sixers are going to go. I like the Sixers a lot. There's not a lot of people saying the Sixers are going to be in the second round. and they're out. I think they're going to go past the second round, and then that's when people are going to start cheering them on more. The- They don't have faith in Doc Rivers, and the way Doc Rivers plays, Charles. Be honest with you, it gets me. It gets me. It'll drive me crazy. But the only way the Eagles, I think, go back to the Super Bowl next year if they get Lovey Smith as a defensive coordinator. Let him control the defense side and let Nick Sirianni control the offensive side, and that's it. And also helps Nick Sirianni out too if you get Lovey Smith because he's been a head coach. So if Nick Sirianni needs a little help, you know, that would help. He can lean on Lovey Smith a little bit. But get ready for the 76ers, Charles. I'll be doing a live one on that on Thursday. But I'm super pumped with the Eagles. 3-1 lead when Rivers was with the Clippers. All right. It's going to be all right. Doc Rivers is going to be just fine. He's going to get past the second. And then when he gets past the second, Charles, I'm telling you now, you'll see all the Sixers fans come out of the woodworks because, and it's just because of Doc Rivers. They're just upset about Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers plays that, I don't know what it is. They they just give the ball to Embiid or they'll give it to James Harden, and everybody stands there and they don't try to get open and just watch. And then when they take a shot, nobody tries to go for a rebound. Nobody even looks if it's a rebound. They already run away. Nobody tries to go for a rebound. Nobody tries to extend that play. Nobody tries to get open. That's what drives me crazy about the 76ers. But, guys, I'll talk anything. You want to talk 76ers? I'll talk 76ers. You guys want to talk Eagles? I'll talk Eagles. Try to do both. But back, you know, Doc Rivers needs a little help. The Bahamas Sixers country. All right. They That's pretty cool. Now, they said let me get this up. They said Kevin Love is coming for a interview, but Miami are the ones that they're looking into. Kevin Love I think, would be a big help. But we need more help off the bench. I mean, that's just what we need. We need more help off the bench. They got to do. Doc Rivers has to be better at how he handles the bench. Last game, the 76ers almost blew a 25-point lead because he benched Embiid and Harden too fast. And that's what I don't understand. Why are you benching them so fast? Sorry, guys, my camera keeps on going in and out. So, why would you sit here and say that? Like, why would you? Well, why would you bench your guys? I think he benched them in the late third quarter. So, and then we just kept on missing points because you took your guys that your only two guys that can do something. Yeah, it was him and Mac, and they benched Maxi, and that's it. I'm like, you can't do that. You just can't play that way. But last game was such a blowout that you could just sit back and relax. And then what was it? Uh, at the end of the thing was like 5 points, but you can't bench your guys that fast. You had to keep your. I always say like you have to keep on putting your foot on their neck, or you could put put your foot on the floor and get with it. Just start friggin' blowing people out. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do. So anybody has anything on the Eagles? Like, do you see uh do you see Bradbury being here? Do you see uh Gardner going to be here? I think that's a need. I think that's the biggest need there is. Gardner has to be here. I was supposed to have a guy to pop on, but apparently he's not showing up. Let me see. I'll have to DM him. Give me 1 minute, guys. Oh, EC1 was supposed to pop on with me. Camera keeps on going in and out. Sorry about that, guys. EC1 was supposed to pop on me. I got to DM him and see if I can see if he's coming on or not. If anybody wants to pop on, you can let me know. I'll do it that way if I can't get nobody on here. What's good, Blue City? Yes, the XFL. That's today, right, Blue City? What's up, Jeff? Stop on in, buddy. You can come on in anytime you want. You know you're more than welcome. I was supposed to have EC1 on, but he I gotta DM him. Yeah, so I got a lot of things going on. I think the Eagles gotta make a lot of moves. I mean, look at Washington. Washington just got Eric the Enemy. And he's the assistant head coach and he is uh the offensive coordinator. Yeah, the XFL starts today. Thanks, Jeff. Donovan's in March. I can't wait. Nice. I know everybody's watching that right now. Yeah, so Washington Commanders went and got Eric the Enemy, and he's the assistant head coach and he's the offensive coordinator. Now I do know Ron Rivera has cancer. Is this did they do this move for Eric the Enemy because Ron Rivera might not will have to miss some games, or he might miss out on some this year because of his cancer? That's that's something to look into, you know? So, but they still had Carson Wentz. They're going to release Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz is going to Tampa Bay. I think Slay gets traded. I think Slay goes to Tampa Bay too. I know Tampa Bay is really high on Slay. How is the XFL? I never got to watch it yet. I mean, I watched it when Vince McMahon owned it, and it was kind of lame, kind of so-so. I know the XFL has older NFL players now. The XFL went and got some old NFL players that didn't guys that didn't cut the mustard, but only played maybe 1 or 2 years. Yeah, so I everybody said Slay might. There's no way Slay's going. Slay's got a big contract. Slay's got a big contract. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I mean, you can also look at he might be gone, and that's the truth right there. It was exciting and fun, huh? All right, I got to check it out. I do. I got to check it out. It was more when Vince McMahon was more like I didn't like it. He might go to Denver. Yeah, he said Kansas City, but people are telling me no. I think Kansas City might make that move. Then they got a two-headed monster because Andy Reid likes a two-headed monster. So that's why I said that. And you don't have they have enough room now. Back in 2020, the XFL in halftime they showed you the behind the scenes in the locker. It would be pretty cool, I think, if you got to actually see in the locker room if coach is yelling at somebody or they're just sitting there laying back, not partying. You know what I mean? If the coaches are in their face yelling at them, that'd be kind of cool. Mm, mm. And then we got baseball's coming up. Can't wait for baseball. I can't wait for Thursday night with the 76ers. I think Jeff and Mitch are doing a stream, but I don't think they're doing the 76ers. I forget which ones they're doing. I'll be streaming the 76ers on Thursday. It's cool. Blue City, that's the cool. That'll be a cool thing. Watching somebody get yelled at and see how they handle it. You know what I mean? Watching how the teammates are getting into somebody's face. Yeah. So yeah, I've been looking at the Eagles to see what they should do, and right now, I mean, I think there's 8 guys on. It might be like 18 guys on the team that's going to be going next year. They might be doing that right now. What time is the football game? I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check that out. I know a lot of people are. I know a lot of people are on it. Yeah, the Eagles have like. I think Slay's gone with the Eagles. I think Kaiser White is gone. I mean, I know we gave up a lot. We gave up a little. We gave up something. What did we give up for him? We gave up a second round pick for Kaiser White, right? Very interesting what the Eagles are going to do. If we don't get Lovey Smith, I don't think we are. I can't say for sure that we go back to the Super Bowl next year. If we get Lovey Smith and the way Howie Roseman has been putting weapons around the defense and all, like he did last year, I know we can go back to the Super Bowl. But I'm up in arms right now. Like Lovey Smith is here, guys, and everybody else is way low. Now, I know they want a guy that just blitz, but you can't have a guy just blitz. You got to see how he holds his defense. Arizona Cardinals did not have a great defense. Like just because the guy blitzed does not mean he put his guys in the right position. I know everybody's like, oh, but he blitzed so much. I forgot the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals, but I mean, just because you blitz don't mean you blitzed at the right time. You didn't. It doesn't mean you blitzed. You can blitz 900 billion times and not have your other guys in the right position. It don't matter. That's the thing. It depends on how you use your blitz. I know everybody wants to say, "Well, he blitzes. He's the highest blitzer there is." Okay, but did he have his guys in the right position when he blitzed? Just because you blitz don't mean nothing. Yes, I want to see blitzing, but you know, just because you blitz don't mean yeah. I can run a defense and just blitz every down. But if I don't have my corners in the right position, my linebackers in the right position, and all of my in and outs right, then guess what? That blitz is not going to work. But Lovey Smith, good defensive coordinator. I think he was the defensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears when Urlacher was there, and that defense was high up there. I think he was very good there. Um, what else is there? He was with Tampa Bay. I don't know if he was with Tampa Bay when they won the Super Bowl as the defensive coordinator. I cannot remember that one. But I do remember that Tampa Bay's defense was way better, you know? So the only thing with Lovie Smith is when he went to the Houston Texans, they set him up to fail. They didn't want him as the coach, you know? I didn't think. I mean, because you didn't go get a quarterback for him. You didn't give him a chance. You set him up to fail. You gave him 1 year to fail. Also in the XFL in 2020 season, if the refs make a mistake or does any do anything and or show any. Oh, really? Really? All right. I don't know how that works. I mean, because you can miss a play, you can miss something, you know. But all right, XFL sounds kind of interesting. Blue City getting me to almost want to watch that. I have to watch it now, Blue City, just because of that one. Yeah. So, guys, I mean, like, we'll just say that I don't know what the Eagles are going to do, but you got to have Lovey Smith. I'm so high on Lovey Smith. I mean, like, he's here and everybody else is down here. Forget the name of the guy, the Arizona defensive coordinator. Somebody can help me out with that. He was just released, and everybody's high on him because of he blitzes. Well, Arizona wasn't that good this year. Everybody wanted to blame the quarterback, but guess what? You got scored on too. So did they use the blitzing at the right time? Would be the question. I don't get to watch it. I don't get to watch. I didn't get to watch the Arizona Cardinals as much. That's why I want Lovey Smith. Lovey Smith is so up higher than everybody else. Mm. Be honest with you, if you look at it, that when you look at it, yeah, Lovey Smith failed as a head coach, but they gave him 1 year. They didn't give him a quarterback. He had to deal with a quarterback controversy because the other quarterback got traded. You know, but the Houston Texans defense was pretty good because they even gave the Eagles a little rough time. Everybody needs to look at that. They gave the Eagles a rough time. It was just a rough time. And now you got to figure out what's going to happen with the Eagles and the running back. What's going to happen with Kelsey? When's these people going to make their decisions? Now next week is when you get the franchise tag them. Sorry. I had a brain fart there for a minute. Next week, starting Monday, is when you can start franchise tagging people. You know, do the Eagles franchise tag somebody? I don't like Jalen Hurts. Maybe I know they have one. They have 1 more year with Jalen Hurts. You don't have to, but the Eagles will because that's what they like to do. They like to get that out of the way. You know, they like to get that out of the way. They have 1 more year with Jalen Hurts. Do they franchise tag CJ Gardner? Because you know he's going to make a lot of money. That was my question. Blue City, I will have to check that. When did they start Blue City? What time? I mean, I don't. Eagles don't like to franchise tag people. You know, that's just what. That's how they do business. You got Hargrave. What are you going to do with Hargrave? He's another guy. You got to be. I think you sign Hargrave because Fletch is not going to be here. You got to have Hargrave, and then you have what's his name, Malik Williams, that could take in that position. Oh, cool. I'll watch it as soon. I'll start watching it later on today. I think it's Malik Williams that would take over Fletcher Cox's spot, and I would use him. And you got to keep Hargrave. I mean, these are guys you got to keep. It's going to be hard though. It's going to be hard because Jalen Hurts is going to get paid 45 to $48 million. Does he deserve to make the money? Yeah, he deserves it. Everybody agrees he deserves making the money. But now to pay him, somebody else, you have to be weaker at some other position. You know what I mean? And everybody knew it was coming. If you were his price tag this year, last year was great for the Eagles. I mean, this price tag is not going to be as good. You know what I mean? It's just this is how football begins. This is how hey, this is how other teams get better players. But there's a lot of movements that the Eagles have to do. A lot. I mean, I don't I don't know how long I don't know when they're going to start making moves and all, but I see Lovey Smith will be here, and I think I'd give it 2 more weeks to 3 weeks, and Lovey Smith will be here. That's my call. And in March sometime, or I think you'll see Slay be traded. I think he goes to Tampa Bay. And if you trade Slay because he's older and he makes a lot of money, when you sign Bradbury and uh CJ Gardner, do you do that? I mean, there's a little bit of options the Eagles could do. And then you can focus more on your draft. So you have to find out who's going to retire and who's going and all. Like everybody thinking, I was thinking in the beginning that they're going to go for a corner from a corner, but I mean, if Lane Johnson and this is just me spitballing, if Lane Johnson just retires, says, "Hey, listen, I just got through my surgery. You know, I don't want to do it no more. I'm done. I got to retire." I've been in the league for 11 years, and I'm just going to retire. Can he do it? Yeah, he can just call it quits anytime he wants. You know, he can retire anytime he wants, and they can't do nothing about it. But now the Eagles have to go get a right tackle, or they might, or you might get a defensive lineman. So you might get an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman now. Thinking about it, you know what I mean? Now, if Lane stays, you can go for a corner, but Eagles always like to go for offense and defensive linemen. That's why their fronts always are strong. That's why always their fronts. That's why the Eagles always have a good offensive line and a good defensive line because they like to go for them right off the jump street. And you can, and then you can just sit there and patch people in there in free agency and the draft. You know, but they'll get people out of free agency too. There's nobody's really making any moves yet. I think it's going to be next week when they start after people start franchise tagging people, and that's when they start adjusting and getting rid of people for their money. Then I get to watch, but everybody enjoy the XFL. You still have basketball, you know, and baseball is just right around the corner. Spring training's here. That was me just spitballing right now for this time. What did you guys think? You know, I was just a little antsy on. Was getting a little nervous seeing about uh Lovey Smith. I know a lot of people are on me about it. They want to ride me about it, but I'm cool with it. You got anybody? If anybody else has a different guy, let me know. Cause don't give me the guy. Just don't tell me Lovey Smith ain't the guy because he's too old. Don't give me a guy that oh well, this guy blitzes a lot, but he gives up a lot of yardage. If that guy gives up a lot of yardage, I don't want that guy. If he's gonna have a bend but don't break defense, I don't want that guy. I don't want what they did with Jonathan Gannon. Everybody's like, well, the young guys are smarter. No. Jonathan Gannon had this bend but don't break defense, and it failed. Failed in the Super Bowl, and that's when it really matters. If anybody has a better defensive coordinator, you guys let me know. That's going to be huge right now. I think that's the first move the Eagles make. What do you guys think? What's the first move you think the Eagles make? Be defensive coordinator, right? Yes, we got our offensive coordinator. We got he got in house, but everybody knows it's Nick Sirianni. Really, is going to be the offensive coordinator. He's taken over the position. You know, he's gonna be calling the plays. We need a quarterback coach. I think we can pick one up in college. No, we're not going to regress. We're not going down. We're going to get Lovey Smith. Pause. And when we get Lovey Smith, you know we'll be good, man. We're going to have Lovey Smith. We'll be fine. We're going to be fine. I mean, we're gonna lose a lot of players, Cole. I'm not saying that. I mean, you're losing Zeke Elliott. He'll be gone. I mean, people lose a lot of players. But Howie Roseman always comes up with that player. No, we're not getting him. We're not getting this Seattle guy. We're not getting the Arizona guy that losing Zeke is a plus. Keeping Dak, losing Zeke's a plus. That's a hard one. I don't know. I like Zeke. I know. Yes, he stopped a lot, but I think he watch him go to the Commanders. Watch Zeke go to the Commanders. Then you have to play him twice a year, and then he's just going to go like this to you. You're going to get mad. I see the Commanders doing that. They got Eric the enemy. All right. Yeah, I would do that. Would you move up in the draft and get that running back from Texas? That would be interesting. And he's supposed to the guy from Texas, ain't he supposed to be like they call him the next Barry Sanders or something. Well, you're more welcome to stop in, buddy. Oh, now he's overrated. Hey, I don't know. I keep on hearing he's the next Barry Sanders. Listen, I hate when people do that. Don't tell me this guy is the next Deion Sanders. Don't tell me this guy is the next Barry Sanders. Don't tell me this guy's the next LT. Don't say this guy's the next Reggie White. I hate when people do that. That drives me crazy. And then when they don't pan out, it's like, oh well, we were wrong. They do it all the time now. That's just crazy. Like you got people do some stupid stuff. They say stupid stuff just to get a kick out of somebody. But I think Zeke goes to Washington. I don't think he's going to the Giants. I think he goes to Washington. Got Eric the enemy. I think he's going to want him. Then Coles and everybody's going to get mad because they got to play Zeke twice a year. Cole, would you get mad if you had to play Ezekiel Elliott twice a year? Ravens would be a good fit, but I think they need wide receivers more than they need running back. They got a good running back. I think Derek Carr goes to the Titans. He might go to Washington too. Yeah, Derek Carr might go to the Washingtons and might go to the Titans. That would be my pick for him. I know there are a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's going to go." Everybody got the Jets picking every quarterback there is. because they messed up on somebody that everybody knew was garbage. You know, and that's another thing. I mean, like, look at it. They think, and now they want Derek Carr. They want um Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is not going nowhere, and everybody's is just up in arms, like, oh, they're trading him. He still has a salary cap hit. I believe, and this is how it works. Yes, he got traded. Depending on how much money that the team takes over. If they take the whole salary, they don't have to take the whole salary. They could stiff uh Green Bay with some money. So right now, I think it's $40 million if Aaron Rodgers gets traded. That's a lot of money. What's up, Chad? What's good? What's up, Coles Cowboys? Yeah, I say you're not getting rid of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers ain't going nowhere. You know who might go somewhere? That coach might go somewhere before Aaron Rodgers goes somewhere. Aaron Rodgers is not going nowhere. That's just being honest. I think the coach is going before that. I think the coach goes before Aaron Rodgers does. Coach ain't that good. Your offensive line's weak. You're not putting your wide receivers are weak. You didn't want to keep your number one wide receiver. You're not putting weapons around them. Aaron Aaron Rodgers is gonna sit back and see what they do. I mean, and what they'll do is if they get rid of their head coach, they will get they'll get a yes man. Whoever will just listen to Aaron Rodgers. I don't like him either. I can agree with you on that. Well, you can come on, jump in anytime you want, buddy. You got the link. Yeah, like now the Green Bay just signed their running back. They signed their running. They just signed their running back. But where's your offensive line? What are you going to do about your offensive line? You got a great quarterback, and you don't have an offensive line, and you put that on the coach. Your defense ain't that good either, and everybody wants to say, "Well, it's because Aaron Rodgers took all the money." No, you got to pay the man right now. Like the Eagles got to go pay Jalen Hurts. You just got to figure out how to move the money. Aaron Rodgers ain't going to leave Green Bay. I know that one for a fact. And I heard a rumor that for Denver, uh, who was it supposed to be? There was I forget what defensive coordinator was supposed to come back for Denver right now, off the tip of my head. But there's a lot in football again. There's a lot of stuff going down. You know, you got I think the quarterback for the Vikings. I think this was his last contract. I think his contract's up. The running back for the Vikings, Cooks. There is a little thing saying the Eagles are looking into him, and they might go after Cooks. I don't see that one happening. I think he was going to want to get a payday. They're like, you look at Cooks, he's probably going to go to the Carolina Panthers. You know, but you know, it's very interesting what's going to happen this year. I mean, Dak Prescott could be getting traded. All we know. I know they weren't happy with Dak with he had the most interceptions. And then they said um Stephon Diggs might go to Dallas. I heard rumors of that. To play with his brother. Gonna be interesting. There's a lot of rumors floating around. Now, Panthers, they don't, and if they don't get a quarterback, they're just up in arms. They just up in arms. All teams are. What's Tampa Bay going to do? They're they're hurting on the offensive line. They're hurting the defense. I mean, that's why Tom Brady. I mean, come on, the Cowboys made Tom Brady retire. You know, they just made Tom Brady retire. But yes, he's old, but they made him retire because he couldn't pass for over 50 yards. He couldn't throw the football. You know, he just couldn't do it. The Tennessee Titans, they're in shambles. They don't even have they're just firing everybody over the AJ Brown trade. They're you know they're trading. They're upset because of the AJ Brown trade. The Titans are going ballistic, and they got barely anything for it. How you get? Because they didn't want to pay him 25 million a year. You got to pay people. You want to be up there with the big boys. You got to pay. And the Giants, they're looking to pay their quarterback about $40 million, and he's just an okay quarterback. I know the Giants fans, they love their quarterback, but if you could have got somebody better, you know, and watch Justin Fields. Watch Justin Fields be traded. I think he's going. I think it's going to be like a swap. I think Justin Fields is going to get traded to the Ravens for Lamar Jackson or something. Like a trade like that, it's going to be crazy. But Justin Fields, everybody gives me heat for this one too. But I don't think Justin Fields is that good of a quarterback. All you want to do is run the ball. You can't just run the ball. You got to beat a team with your arm. Yeah, they done the ring. I believe they done the ring around the rosy, and yeah, they do. Hey, shout out to friggin' the Kansas City Chiefs. They play a hell of a game. You know, I'm not going. to Eagle fans don't really. We're not crying about it. You want to say the field was bad? Field was bad for both sides. Everybody know it. You paid almost $1 million for that field, really, and people are slipping and sliding. But both sides, everybody could have got hurt. Was that a penalty? Yes, it was a penalty. But the refs weren't calling penalties all game. I mean, come on. The Hassan Riddick was laying on the ground. The guy's just laying on top of him. It's like, yo, that is you can't hold somebody down. But when you're holding somebody down, hold the hold. Holding him down or holding him up or holding him by his jersey, you can't hold people. But no, Eagles fans ain't really complaining. How's it going now? Listen, you should go get them. Be honest with you, Chad, you should, you still should get them. I mean, unless you're gonna, I mean, Andy Dalton's not that bad of a quarterback. You got to have weapons for him now. Do you have weapons? No. You got to have weapons too. I mean, he beat the Eagles. Once again, he beats the Eagles every year. We'll say that. He beats the Eagles every year, you know? But you got to have weapons for him. Man, my camera keeps on going in and out. Sorry about that, guys. It's blurry a lot. I'm sorry. Yeah, Pittsburgh's in a lot of trouble though, Chad. I will admit this. Pittsburgh, your Pittsburgh team's in a horrible. You guys are in big trouble. You're not even a little trouble. There's so much you got to do to your team. It's unreal. I mean, your defense went downhill major. I like your running back. Don't get me wrong, but he's been hurt. He was hurt a lot of most of the year, right? You're hurting that linebacker. I just seen something on Twitter that the New England Patriots are looking to trade their quarterback already. Yeah, so Chad, your team needs a lot though. What other teams? And like Denver is friggin' is in a shambles. I think. Oh, it's Rex Ryan. That's good. Rex Ryan will be is going to be might be the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. He went and took an interview, but very interesting. What's going to happen in Seattle? I don't see them moving. Like I don't see them actually doing anything different. 49ers don't know what they want to do with quarterback. Yeah, you're right on that one. Hey, do you think that Aaron Rodgers is going to go somewhere else, or do you think that he's staying in Green Bay? I'd like to see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. You know, everybody's looking into that one. Chad, what do you think? Is that Aaron Rodgers staying in Green Bay? You got him. You got him going to Pittsburgh. What's good? What's good, John? How you doing, buddy? We're just talking a little bit about football. I've been saying I think the Eagles need to get Lovey Smith. Think we need to. I think Slay's going to be traded. I really do. I see it happening. We got a lot to work on. If you guys just want to talk about different teams, we can talk about different teams. Like, but I think Kelsey gets traded. Like I've been saying, there's this Eagles got a lot of work on. I'd like to see if Rex Ryan goes to the Bucks. I mean, goes to the Broncos. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to see how he handles it. I think his brother is still a defensive coordinator. Yeah, yeah. He should have retired last year. He should have never came back. He should have stayed with his wife. It wasn't. He did not help himself out at one bit. I think Washington's going to get Derek Carr. Be honest with you, John. I think it's Washington getting Derek Carr, and I also think Washington will go for Ezekiel Elliott. Probably overpay both of them because that's what Washington does. Oh, he should retire. Oh, hmm. Retire? You want him to retire? He was just MVP twice in a row. You want him to retire? Wow. I think that's what. Don't get me wrong. I think that's what every reporter wants. Yo, Rock, what's up? How you doing, buddy? Aaron Rodgers retired. I think that would be too early for him. He was just MVP 2 years ago. He did back to back. Think the I I think it's just so much shit going on that is about to happen. And next week is when they'll franchise tag people, so you can see where people are actually going to happen. What's good, BLG? How you doing, buddy? Long time no hear. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year. Who you guys think's getting franchise tagged? I don't think no Eagles are going to get franchise tagged. I really don't. I think there's going to be a lot of people getting traded and cut, but Eagles don't like the franchise tag people. They don't like using that franchise tag. They like to sign, seal, and deliver. Like the Ravens are going to franchise tag Lamar Jackson and trade him. It don't make sense to me, but that's what they're going to do. The refs sucked all year. You're not lying there. They suck. They don't know what a catch is. They don't know what a football move is. It don't make sense to me, Don. How you not know what a catch is? I'm sorry about the camera, guys. For some odd reason, it keeps on going in and out. How you not know what that is? How you not know what a catch is? How you not know what a hold is? Like, how in one play you're gonna let somebody hold, and the next a different play you're gonna sit there and call that hold. Stop it. You can't do that stuff, man. Like, call a good game. If you're gonna call, if you're not calling nothing the whole game, and people have been holding, when it comes to a time that don't be calling it then if you're not gonna if you're gonna let things go by. You didn't call when Riddick was down on the ground and the guy's holding him down on the ground. You didn't call that. And people are like, "Oh, that's a good football move." No, it's holding. He has to get off of him. He has to get back up and let him get up. You can't hold him. If you can't hold him by his jersey, you can't hold him and pin him to the ground. You can't do that. I mean, it was just it's it is what it is. It's refs for somebody, and I think that's what it is. I think the refs need to be a all year long. All the refs need to start getting paid, and they are always. That's all they do is work for the NFL. So what I think is actually instead of referee like these referees that we have now, how about we have old NFL players that are the refs now? That can tell you when it's a good one. You know what I mean? That knows what a hold is and what's not a hold, or what's a catch and what's not a catch. You know, or what's a pass interference, or what's a good hit and what's not a good hit. Like C.J. Gardner in the Super Bowl had an outstanding hit, and he just got fined $14 million for that hit. Like, I mean, there was nothing wrong with that hit, but they always do this. Refs can get under your skin. that's how I look at it. If you actually have players, and I'm not saying any NFL player. I mean, hey, get those guys that are Hall of Famers, you know, and have them do it. Actually, it would help out. It would even be better for the team. Oh wow, look who's refereeing today. Sorry about the camera, guys. For some odd reason, it's going in and out. I can't help. I don't understand why. I mean, but how would you guys think about that? What do you think about that? If it was a player, an old player, he don't have to be a Hall of Famer, but you know what I'm getting at. He has to be a player to be a referee that was used to be a good football player. You know what I mean? To be the referees. What do you guys think about that? I mean, that's what you end up needing. You need, or because these referees can't find out what a football move is. They can't. They don't know what you call it. I mean, come on, Miles Sanders in the Super Bowl actually fumbled the football and they ran it back for a touchdown, but they took it back and that was actually a fumble because he made a football move. He caught it, he went twisted to make his move, and then he lost it. That was a football move. They don't know what a football move is. It's unreal. Um, Devontae Smith catch. Yes, it moved a little bit, but he had control of that little bit of movement. It wasn't like he was. It wasn't like he was going to drop him, and that's what's bad about it. You know, that's what's bad about like the refs. The refs don't know what is okay and what's not. That little bit of movement is not causing the the game. That's not causing nothing. And ground can't cause a fumble. I mean, as the ball's moving in his arm and the ground causes a fumble, and they don't understand the ground can't cause a fumble. And they've been calling that a lot too. Like, oh, it's a fumble. No, it's not a fumble because the ground caused that fumble. The ground impacted this fumble. It wasn't a guy doing it. But the refs suck. You're right, John. I mean, they just need to have like a referee school and learn how to be able to, you know, call these things. You know, be old coaches. I don't know. Could it be old coaches? Maybe that coached in the NFL. You know what I mean? You could have a linebacker coach, somebody like that. Be very interesting. See if they actually did something like that. No, they're not going to do it because it's all about the money. Very interesting. And the Chicago Bears have the first overall pick. Now, I want to. I'm going to shoot something out to you guys. I want to see what you guys think. Do you think the Chicago Bears would you do this? The Chicago Bears trading their quarterback, getting a couple of draft picks for him, number ones. You know he's going to get at least two number ones and maybe two number ones, two number twos. You know, and trade the number one overall pick You're probably gonna get. I mean, you can get up from 2 first rounds to 3 first round draft picks for that, and do what Dallas did back in the early '90s and build your offensive line, build your defense, and then people are like, "Well, what do you do for a quarterback?" Well, you go and you, in free agency, you go get yourself a quarterback. You know, Derek Carr, you can go get. You can go pick anybody else you want. You know, and you build your team up first. Now, a lot of people said no. You know what I mean? But if I got a quarterback, but I don't have the offensive line, and I don't have wide receivers, and I don't have the defense, you know what I mean? How am I ever going to get by and build this team? I got my quarterback, but I don't have nobody to build around him. Like, yeah, the Eagles. If you look at the Eagles already had an offensive line. The Eagles already had a good defense when they got Carson Wentz, and when then they fell in with Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? We already had a team built when that quarterback came in. We had when we had Jalen Hurts when we got Jalen Hurts, we already had a team built. You got to build your team. If it's through the draft and free agency, you got to build a team. And Chicago's not doing that. I just want to see what people would say about trading your quarterback and trading the number one overall pick. And just do what kind of Dallas did and went and built. I mean, they went crazy in the early the early '90s and got themselves that offensive line that and defensive players, and they also got a running back, and they got an Emmett Smith. They got, you know what I mean? They had Troy Aikman already set in the background. They just had to go get a team to put around him. Very interesting if you do that. That's what I was thinking. Would you do it? Can you do it? You had to, I mean, your fans are not going to see what you're doing, so it'll be harder to explain, but I think it's the right move for Chicago right now, anyway. 'Cause I don't think their quarterback is that good anyway. Everybody's going to knock me for that one, too, but I'm okay with that. All right, guys, I'm going to get off. Thanks for hanging out, showing your support. You know, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the rebound.